Wow, the sunset is beautiful. We got Julian today.
Very good. Just feelings of relaxation.
Yeah, but let's cut straight right to it. So, first question I gotta ask you is, what made you start chasing your dream in the first place?
I kind of just realized that if I don't chase my dream, then life is going to pass by quickly, and I'm just going to be sitting there thinking to myself when I'm older, I regret everything, and kind of just living a life that I hate. I don't want to be that guy who only has 2 weeks of vacation a year, and if I'm lucky, I get a Friday off. It's just not an appealing life to me, and I don't understand how people could just live it. If you're trying and you have to live that life temporarily, so be it. But I don't understand how people just sign up for it without ever questioning that path.
Definitely. I mean, this question right here, my saying is, dream it, make it. I do have the dream. I can't live my life not doing what I want to do. I grew up visionary, envisioning all these things. I can't just vision it and just grow up and never do it. It's just not the life I want to live. And like you said, 2 weeks of vacation. No, I want every day to be a vacation. Every day I wake up, I want to be excited. Because people are not excited. They have their snooze alarm. They keep shutting it off. I don't want to go to work. That's the stage I'm in right now. But the dream is slowly going to overtake that. And the proof is in the pudding. All we got to do is put in that hard work and we'll get there.
It's like you said, it's going to overtake it. It's like, which one are you feeding more? Are you feeding the attention towards your job more, or are you feeding the attention towards your dreams more? Because whichever monster you're going to feed is going to be the monster that gets bigger and the monster that eats the other one. So are you going to let the monster of pain or the monster of regret? Those are the two monsters you have to face in your life, and you only get to choose one. And the one you choose is either going to bring you a life of luxury or a life of regret. The life that you don't like or a life that you do like.
Yeah, definitely. And what is your dream? Like, what is it? Like, for me, I want to have this podcast 5 years, 10 years time. And I want to be both here once again. I want to be maybe in Italy, where we just went, wherever. And I want to be talking, but this time we actually made it. That's the dream for me. And giving back to all my family, because my family has given me so much. And this dream is not just for me, it's for the people around me as well. And I'm going to show them and inspire that you could actually do what you want in this life, leaving the impact.
I would say my dream is to leave an impact. I thought about it a lot the last few days. I truly just sat down and, I was off of my phone and I thought to myself, what do I really want out of this? Do I just want the money? I had to be honest with myself. Do I just want the money? Do I want an impact? What do I want? And I realized that what I truly want is to just change this world, create something, create a movement, create a legacy that when people look at, they get motivated, they get inspired to take action and to go and do something that changes their life. And we're not going to be understood by a lot of people. In order to get extraordinary results, you have to be looked at as extra.
You're crazy until you make it, right?
Exactly. And you see right now, there's people walking past, they're looking at us, they're staring at us. Maybe some of them are even laughing, judging. But you have to realize that if we had the impact, everyone would be coming up to us right now. We wouldn't even be able to record here.
Exactly.
And that's just the point that I want to get to, where I'm noticed everywhere. And I never cared about status. I never cared about materialism. The thing is, I kind of grew up alone. I had that feeling of being misunderstood by everyone. Since I was a young kid, I barely had any friends. I was always sitting in class alone, eating lunch alone. And I feel like when you're alone, that's the best time to think about what you want out of life. And all those years of just being alone for hours and hours and hours at school, I realized that there's something inside of me. I never fit in. I never, ever fit in with everyone else. And that kind of just built a fire in me. And I realized that I'm meant for more. I'm meant for something different. And I truly think to myself every single day that I'm going to become successful, and I'll die trying if I have to. If I don't become successful, I'll die trying. I'll know that I gave it my all, and I'll know that I'll fulfill the purpose and dream that I had inside as a kid when I was alone, thinking to myself, when are things going to change? When am I going to be different? You know, I tried so hard to fit in. I genuinely did. Some nights when I was younger, I would be so depressed, and I would think to myself, why was I born like this? Why was I made like this? Why can't I be like everyone else? Until I realized that it's a blessing as I got older that I was born like this.
Most definitely a blessing. I mean, just like you said, being lonely. I mean, me growing up, I was an athletic kid. I was in elementary. I was a popular kid. Middle school, popular kid. But then, as I started going into high school, I realized that it doesn't matter because the people, they're all yes men. They chase the wrong things. Because when I was pretty popular in elementary and middle school, I realized in high school, my head clicked. And I realized what all the intentions are of everyone. And that's when I started becoming lonely, started chasing my dreams, and losing everyone. Each year, I lose more, but like Drake said, losing friends, finding peace. That's what we gotta aim for.
100%. You have to sacrifice a lot in order to get to where you want to be.
Definitely.
All right, next question. What is one thing that a man does that to you is a waste of his potential?
Chasing the crowd, just like I was saying right now. Everything they see that is popular at the moment, or the easiest decision, they automatically go to that. They're scared to be the black sheep, the one to make a difference. Example I could give is, say you're in a school. Say you see someone getting bullied, and you're just there, and you just treat it as a normal thing. No one's gonna stop it because the other people are on top. But that one guy that does come, and he does have all the strength, and he's popular as well, and he has all the power, but he sees that it's wrong, and he stops it. That's what a man is. A man that knows what's right, and doesn't just follow everything else.
No, that's a really good thing. For me, honestly, what I would say is a man wasting his potential is a man who is indulging in comfort. A man who is playing video games all day, drinking, smoking, going to clubs, going to parties, doing all of these things that are short-term gratification. You know, he's getting the pleasure right now, but he's losing so much value every time that he's indulging into these comfort habits. He's losing the sight of his vision, and the chains are getting tighter and tighter until there's no escape. And I feel like a lot of men in this generation think it's okay to play video games, watch TV shows, and do all of these things for hours and hours a day. But what they don't realize is that they're trading something. They're trading their potential.
Definitely. All right, now speaking of success, how has your definition of success changed over time? What is success to you?
So at first, success to me was just getting rich, you know, and just being financially free. But over the time and all of the lessons and the failures I had to learn, I realized that success is not so much about the reward, but about the journey that you have to endure. The journey of you going through, you know, when you're 40 years old and you're able to look at your kids and say, I went through so much to get to where I am today, to be able to afford this for you, to be able to have this life that you get to enjoy. It's such a good feeling. But when you're like born into a rich family, when you're, you get lucky at the casino, whatever it is, you hit a parlay. I have so many friends who are spend so much money and time into parlays and this and that. Sure, you're getting these quick wins, these quick fixes. But what you're not healing is that hole, that void that you have inside that is asking for a successful life that you actually achieved yourself.
Yeah, parlays. I mean, you could bet on other people, but the real person you should be betting on is yourself. That's where you put all the money in. That's where you put all your time in. And you build yourself instead of focusing on the others.
Nah, for sure. It's like they're putting parlays on a fight between two men. But why don't you put a parlay on the fight that you have to achieve your goals?
Definitely.
All right. Next question. What would you say going all in and locking in looks like?
Going all in. What that looks like to me is you putting all your time into that, because there's many distractions. You can go do that, go do this. But once you start rejecting that, putting it all into that thing, all in, that's what all in is. Another thing, money. Put your money all into that. Put your passion, everything in your head, put it all into that, and just don't look back. Because once you look back, take you away. But you know where to sail the boat. And once you're sailing the boat, the wind might stumble you, but it's your choice if you want to keep going.
For me, going all in is you going through those days where you don't want to do anything, but yet you force yourself. Your head is hurting, you're feeling sick, nothing is going your way, yet you still walk that path, you still move forward. Even if you have to crawl forward, you still get up, and you just sacrifice everything, that all the distractions, all of these things that is holding you back, you get rid of them, and you spend months of your life just focused on one goal, hyper focused, and you look like a psychopath trying to achieve them. That's, to me, is locking in for 1 year and truly changing everything.
Psychopath, great point. That's how people have to look at you. That's how every successful person was looked at, psychopath. But then once they make it, are they a psychopath? All those people that said that before will then be like, you're a genius.
Exactly. They're gonna say like, oh, we always believed in you, oh, like this and that, whatever. Teach me how to do it. Were you asking me to teach you when I was struggling and you were laughing at me?
Exactly. I mean, for our life, my life, your life, I want our life to be looked at as, I'm not a psycho, but my life is. I want the craziness. I want it to be a movie. I want craziness, I want sadness, anger, happiness, success. I want every feeling of the book, because you can't build a good book if it doesn't have all of that.
Exactly. 100%, I agree.
All right, now let's move on to the next question. What do people never see behind the scenes?
People never see the trauma that you have to go through. People don't see the hardship, the anger, the frustration, the doubt, the depression, the negative emotions. They only see the positive emotions. They see you posting here and there, and they like it here and there, and they're just like, they're halfway seeing of what you're doing, whatever it is. They see a few of your videos, but they never truly understand you. They never take a deeper look and realize that you're sacrificing your life. You're sacrificing everything. Most people, they come home from their 9 to 5, and what do? They relax. They kind of just put a TV show on. They have a nice pizza dinner, have some ice cream after. They just kind of relax. Maybe play an hour of video games before they fall asleep. What they don't see, what we're doing, is that we come home from the 9 to 5, and during the 9 to 5, we're just thinking the entire day of what we want to achieve. we truly never have peace of mind because we're constantly thinking about it. And as soon as we get home, we have to clock into our second shift, which is the shift of us working on our goals. And I think people just don't realize that, and they just think that it's all sunshine, when in reality, there's a lot of clouds in the journey.
They definitely don't realize. I mean, for me, things like, they never see, say I'm making a song, they never see me in the studio. Say when I was playing soccer, Ronaldo, anyone was playing, they never see the practice. They just see them score goals on the big nights. Every successful person, they just think it just came. But no, it didn't, because practice will get you there. Practice makes perfect. Repetition, consistency, and discipline. That all ties in. And without all of that is one major thing. And that major thing, you can have all those 4 assets, but if you don't have sacrifice, forget it.
Exactly. We have to push through all of the hardship.
Definitely.
What do you do when you feel like no one understands you and when you feel alone?
That's a very common thing I experience in today's age. No one really does understand me, except you, obviously.
Yeah.
And they don't understand my intentions behind this. I'm not doing it. I am doing it for fun because I love this and I'm very passionate. But I'm doing it to also strive and make a name for myself, because I don't want to just do this and just forget about it and quit. Like, once I'm locked in, I have to do it. I have to get it done. And people don't really see that I'm determined either. They think what I do is easy. They think like YouTubers, all this, making music is easy, but it really isn't. There's a lot of creativity that comes with it, a lot of hours, and a lot of misunderstanding.
Yeah, exactly. And just like this one video clip of Mr. Beast saying that he can't focus on his mental health, because if he did, he wouldn't be where he's at. And I just feel like when no one's understanding us, that's when we have to just think
I feel like when no one understands you, that's you're doing something right.
Exactly. Because if everyone understood you, then you would be considered normal. And to be considered normal in this generation means you don't have the true success you want. I mean, if you truly wanted to be like a engineer or something, and that was like your end dream in your life, so be it. Go do it. Like, I'm happy for those people.
And why do they want to be an engineer? They don't truly want to be an engineer. They just want it for the money. It's good pay, so I want it. When they were a kid, that's not their dream. They didn't even know what engineer was. I want to be an engineer. Why do you want to be an engineer? They won't have an answer.
Yeah. I mean, some people...
The only answer is money.
Some people truly want to. Like, some people are truly born for that, but I feel like that's a very, very few percentage of people. I feel like you said, most people just do it for the money. But the thing is, they spend all of their prime years of their life trying to achieve that goal. In the end, to first of all hate their life, and in the end to not even be making that much money. I mean, you got to realize that everything is going up in price in today's day and age. If you don't become a visionary and a creator and create things in your life, you're gonna be struggling. That's just the truth.
Definitely. And the world's heading in a very weird direction. Futuristic, I will say. All right. What role does environment play?
I think environment is a very big thing, because your environment dictates your reality. If you're surrounding yourself with fake friends, if you're surrounding yourself with a low energy environment, you're going to become like that. When you're surrounding yourself with people who have achieved things, when you're surrounding yourself with people who have dreams and visions, the thing is, we all have this energy transfer. Everyone transfers energies to each other. Mm-hmm. So when there's someone around you who is kind of having this bad energy because he hasn't achieved his goals and he doesn't believe he can, if you spend the entire day with him, at the end of the day, you're going to be thinking to yourself, what if I can't achieve this? But when you spend it with someone who has achieved success, a millionaire, and he takes you on a ride in his Lamborghini, you're gonna be like, damn, this is achievable. I could do this. I could become successful.
Definitely.
And I feel like that environment plays a big role because what you see is what you think that you could become.
For me, environment is very important. The eye, the vision, the experience you get is most important. Experience is the most important thing because that's where you actually learn. That's when you see it. And for me, I like to see the bad and I like to see the good. I like to go to poor places and I like to go to rich places because you take from both. You know, like how it all ties in together.
Exactly.
And say like when I go to Bosnia or something, less opportunities, and you start to realize that if you go to somewhere rich, there'll be more opportunities, and you just gotta see it and just use it as motivation from both sides.
For sure. I mean, it's not their fault that they grew up poor, whatever it is, and you start to realize that you're blessed to have what you have in this life. You know, for us, we live in the U.S. There's so much blessings to be here where other people don't, and that kind of just motivates me because I realize that if I was born into that environment, for example, a lot of Indians are like truly broke, and the reason why is because they're born into an environment where no one believes they could be rich, and belief is one of the biggest things that determines if someone's become successful or not. And when you're born into a place where you don't have that many tools to become rich, where you don't even have clean water, it's like your focus truly does become survival rather than trying to achieve your goal. So I do feel for them, and I do truly respect them. And that's why there's so many people in this country, in first world countries, that have all the tools, yet they still don't do anything about it. Whereas someone on the other side of the country would die for their just situation in life.
Yeah, and I think wherever you are in this life, in the worst version, best version, you always got to be blessed. Because if you're just complaining, what's there to complain about? I mean, the fact that we're even living is a blessing. There's people in hospital right now. You always got to look at your blessings and count them.
For real.
Just move on.
Stop feeling
just
sorry.
Move on.
Stop feeling sorry and start doing something.
Exactly.
Start doing something to change it.
All right, next question.
Let's see. Speaking about sacrifices, what sacrifices have you made so far? And what sacrifices will you make in the future to get what you want?
Money, that's one thing. I mean, these studio sessions are not cheap. I will say right now, the number, it's over $1,000 just on that. And I mean, I'm not rich, I'm just 20 years old.
Normal guy who's trying to achieve his dreams. It's not like we were born with parents who could pay for our things or anything. We're truly just like whoever's watching us. We're just like you, but instead we're just having the determination.
But sacrifice, I mean, no risk, no reward.
I would say the sacrifices that I've made is, you know, when you see all of your friends going out, but you know you have to edit a video, you know you have to do something, that is a big sacrifice. No one truly realizes that all those sacrifices, they just think that you don't want to come. But what they don't see is that
you're striving for something bigger.
Yeah, exactly. You know, all of my friends, you know, they go out for a night to watch the fight, a UFC fight, whatever it is, and I don't come, and they think I'm just a weirdo that doesn't want to come. And I tell them I have to be asleep by this time. They think like, bro, this guy has a bedtime, he's this age, whatever. But what they don't realize is that I'm sacrificing all of these things, you know, to achieve something greater. Because, like you said, no sacrifice, no reward.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they're scared of the word sacrifice because everyone just wants easy. But I've started to realize that sacrifice, it's amazing, it's a blessing, it's something you must do throughout life. Because one day you'll realize it.
Tell me what you sacrifice and I'll tell you how far you'll get. That's just the way it's going to be.
Exactly. All right, next question. Why do you think some people never chase their dreams?
Honestly, I think it's just because it's too hard. If you want to be honest, like I just feel like It truly is hard, and people just don't have what it takes. People just don't believe that they could do it, and even if they do believe, they just never do it because it's hard. If it was easy, everyone would have what they want, but since it is hard, that's what filters out the great from the average.
Right from the average. White sheep, the one black sheep. Once you turn the tables, flip the script, I mean, that's when they'll listen, that's when they'll be like, wow, this guy actually did something. But they don't know what it took. And what was the question again?
Why do you think some people never achieve their dreams?
Oh yeah. So why I think that is the crowd, they're just gonna do what everyone else does, the normal. They don't want to be known as weird. I've grown to really like weird people because the weird people, they have a mind of their own.
Yeah, the people that go for their dreams, even though they're called weird and stuff, you realize that those are the people who have the purest hearts inside. Those are the people that they want to see the world become a better place.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there wasn't people who were weird, we wouldn't have cars, we wouldn't have the internet, we wouldn't have airplanes, we wouldn't have anything that you see around us. We wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for people who thought to themselves, I'm going to do this, even if I get called weird.
So the big lesson from that is weird is good. Don't look at weird as bad, look at it as good.
Next question. What would you say having control of life looks like?
Having control of life is action. That's one thing. If you don't have that implemented in your life, say you're laying on a couch, sleeping, not going to the gym the next day, not going to work, not doing the hard stuff, then just forget it, because one day it's gonna all fall down and you're gonna realize that you have to take that action.
For me, taking control is just building yourself up mentally and physically, getting in the best shape of your life, getting in the best mental shape of your life.
Best version of yourself.
Best version of yourself, exactly. And just improving every single day, daily, just trying to achieve all your goals and trying to get closer to that end vision that you have for yourself.
I most definitely agree with that. I mean, as a human, I want to have a million goals, do a million stuff, experience everything, because it's a gift to exist. And once you're existing, take all this wisdom in, take everything you can in, do what you can with this body, because everyone watching, you're very capable of something, very capable of doing great things that you don't even know, because first of all, you don't imagine it, and you don't take action for it. But I'm telling you right now, everyone looking through this lens, you're capable of so much and you can do so much. You can change the world. It's just the desire and how bad you want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, we see a beautiful sunset behind us, but what you don't see is a few days ago, there was huge clouds and huge thunderstorms. You got to go through the hard part. You got to go through those daily battles, and then you achieve the beautiful sunset in your life.
Definitely. Next question, and I think this will be the final question, is when it's all said and done, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be remembered as a guy who persevered, a guy who built something and truly just created something that everyone could look back on and think to themselves, like, this guy was an artist, a creator, influencer who motivated people and got people to change their life and made people realize that there's a best version inside of them waiting to come out. And I want to be the guy who my younger self needed when I was, in school alone and I felt different. I want to be that guy who teaches people that it's okay to feel like that, and it's okay to, like you said, be called weird and all of these names, but realize that at the end, if you truly have what it takes, you could achieve greatness. And I want to be the guy who achieves it and then teaches it.
Legacy. That is probably my favorite word, just because that is what it all comes down to. When you're in the grave, how do you want to be remembered? By many, I mean almost everyone. In a couple years' time, someone will die, and they'll just forget, even a year later, months later, minutes later, even seconds. And when I die, I want people to know me as, wow, he did what he said he would. And I want them to take that into their own life. And I also want them to be like, how can I word this? I want to be the guy that flips the script. I want to be a breath of fresh air in the music industry, and just in being like famous in general. Like, I want to be that guy that people are like, damn, he's actually like a good one. Because there's a lot of people that's famous right now and not doing the right things for the youth and for everyone else. I want people to look at me, and I want them to be motivated and build their self up by listening to what I have to say with my lyrics and my decisions in my career.
Yep. Only a few legacies will be able to live on. You have to decide if yours is going to be one as well.
Definitely. And that's it. That's what we live by. No plan B. That's what it came down to. And yeah.
You just gotta remember that life is limited, but you could make something out of it, or you could be just like everyone else.
Look back. You're only going to experience this in this lifetime. I mean, there's no other earth. There is like heaven and hell. But for this time we have right now, for the human life, this is all we have. So do what you can and do it good. And do it if it's thunder, or do it if it's rainbows. Just do it, because once you do and you never look back, then you'll be happy and you will have no regrets in the final days.
For sure. I think that's a good way to end this off.
Thank you for joining me.
Yep.
No plan B.